Dan, thank you very much indeed. Is it going to be another special night under the floodlights at the Brentford Community Stadium? The first West London derby in the league between Brentford and Chelsea for nearly 3/4 of a century. The two clubs may only be 6 miles apart, but there has been a huge gulf in their achievements for most of the period since then. But Brentford are thoroughly enjoying life in the Premier League, and as Thomas Frank said this week, they're here to prove they can cope with the very best, even the champions of Europe. The two sides, Brentford with Raya in goal, Zanka, Janssen and Pinnock the back three, Canos, Jensen, Norgard, Onyeka and Henry across the middle, Tony and Mbumo up front, Chelsea, Mendy in goal, Chalobah, Christensen and Sarr, a Premier League debut for the Frenchman in the back three, Azpilicueta and Chilwell the wing backs, Loftus-Cheek, Conte and Kovacic in midfield, Lukaku and Werner the furthest two forward. Alvin Martin, you and I had a lovely walk up in the sunshine from Kew Bridge and walked up to this wonderful new stadium, which may only be 17,000 or so in terms of capacity, but it's loud and it's proud. Brentford have really retained the feel of a community club here, and we've been really looking forward to this one ever since we arrived.
Yeah, look, it's a pleasure to come to a club, a friendly club. I've got to say, from the moment you actually walk in the door, it's a friendly club. We're not friendly on the pitch at the moment, Joe, but I'll tell you, when you look at all the facets of getting it right in building a club, sustaining a club, they seem to have everything in place. Their recruitment has been brilliant for a long while now. They stick with their manager. There's a loyalty between the manager and players, an understanding in the fans of what's trying to be achieved as a club. So healthy in every respect.
What a game day we've had so far. Earlier, Claudio Ranieri's first game in charge of Watford, an emphatic defeat to Liverpool. Then on Game Day Live around the grounds, wins for Wolves, Leicester, Manchester City and Southampton. And now we're in West London for a game involving two near neighbours. That's been decades in the making. A First League meeting between Brentford and Chelsea since 1947, and it's exclusively live on Talk Sport. So much to look forward to across the rest of the day, across the rest of the weekend, but our focus very much here. Our commentary position just to the right of the halfway line, only a few rows behind the dugouts, as both sets of players take the knee ahead of kick-off, and the next two weekends seeing the return of the Premier League's No Room for Racism campaign. Chelsea have us underway, playing from right to left in the first half towards the home end of the ground, the west stand of the Brentford Community Stadium, that steep stand behind the goal. Chelsea all in royal blue with white socks, and an early chance for Tony through the middle for Brentford, but goalkeeper Mendy is quick off his line to hack the ball clear up into the early evening sky. Brentford, fearless Brentford as we've seen so far this season. Red and white striped shirts, black shorts, black socks. We are surrounded by spectators here in our commentary position, and already the atmosphere really sizzling. Here is Tony just inside opposition territory for Brentford. He holds the play up so well, does Tony. Then a poor layoff towards Canos. Loftus-Cheek got back for Chelsea. He's fouled, and Chelsea have a free kick in their left-back position. 0-0, Alvin Martin.
Well, Brentford look like a team, Joe, that want to get started. I think the atmosphere here is brilliant. I think they want a quick start. They want to ask a few questions of this makeshift back line of Chelsea. And the thing I like about Brentford, they mix it up. They don't mind intricate passing if that's the way to go forward, but they also don't mind going direct. And they started direct, I think, in this first 5 or 10 minutes, and just purely to see if they can shake up the back line of Chelsea.
Here is Andreas Christensen at the heart of that Chelsea back three. Sarr playing in the left central defensive position, and Chalobah just to the right. Trevor Chalobah, who scored in the victory against Southampton just before the international break. Chelsea, remember, can go top of the Premier League with a win tonight, go back top after Liverpool leapfrogged them earlier. Conte on the far side, nudges it square to Azpilicueta, red boots on. He's dispossessed by Jensen, who clears for Brentford up towards the halfway line. Kovacic quickly wins it back for Chelsea. And Kovacic turns on the ball inside the centre circle beneath dark, murky skies. Looks to slip it down to the left towards Chilwell. Canos gets a foot in. Brentford have it back with Norgard. Norgard concedes possession though to Loftus-Cheek. No free kick, says the referee. Great footwork from Loftus-Cheek. Finding Werner on the edge of the penalty area. Will it come through here for Werner? No, it doesn't. Jensen did just enough. And the goalkeeper, Raya, all in bright green, hacks it clear away for a Chelsea throw on the far side. It's Brentford 0, Chelsea 0. But it's already been a fast-paced, energetic start on TalkSport.
It certainly has, and Kovacic there did great in the centre circle, the lovely turn, got the ball to Loftus-Cheek, and he's certainly motored. He went past two Brentford players and then played the ball into Werner. Werner tried to let the ball run. It was a tight area, just to try and make himself half a yard to get the shot away, but it was red.
Good possession early on for Chelsea. Chilwell near side of the field, midway inside opposition territory, a few yards away from the Brentford head coach Thomas Frank, who watches on with a dark jacket on, arms folded, the Dane. Chelsea now with Loftus-Cheek, square to Conte, right of centre as we look at it. All the way over on that far side is Azpilicueta. Looks for Lukaku, the number 9, with his back to goal. Right hand edge of the area. Plays it back to Conte. Conte in field to Timo Werner, spinning down the right hand side. Can he tease it across? It takes a deflection, it goes behind, and the referee signals a Chelsea corner on that far side of the field at the northwest corner of the ground.
I think Brentford have to, recognise that these Chelsea players, as much as we've talked about the back line being dishevelled in some respects, the attacking options they've got going forward has to be respected.
Chilwell will take the corner for Chelsea. Chalobah and Sarr both lurking. Lukaku on the edge of the 6-yard box. Chilwell swings it in high. Out comes the goalkeeper. Takes it well, Raya, with a wall of Brentford fans almost behind him in their red and white replica shirts. And that's terrific distribution from the goalkeeper to find Mbumo on the far side, the left. You always feel the atmosphere really pick up whenever Brian Mbumo gets on the ball. The Frenchman, 2 goals in his last 3 in the Premier League, and epitomises the way this side, in their first season at this level, in the Premier League at least, have taken to this division. Here is Canos racing down the Chelsea left. He sets up Tony tackled by Conte, and the last touch, in fact, off the Brentford man, and it's a throw for Chelsea in their left wing back position. In the end, it was Sarr who came across to make the tackle for Chelsea. And Alvin, you and I were saying pre-match, the nerves of any player going into any game will be magnified times 100 when you're making your Premier League debut.
That's right. I think the nerves, hopefully from his point of view, will be the approach to the game. I think once the game starts, you get entangled in it, and your concentration levels are up, so the nerves tend to leave you.
Rico Henry for Brentford sets up Jensen on the far side. He slips as he tries to cross. Chalobah will collect possession in front of the Chelsea supporters on the far side of the field, about 1,700 or so in the northeast corner of this stadium. There is not a spare seat to be had, and it's a very impressive arena, this. You can see it as you drive up along the M4 motorway, along the flyover, a long way in the distance. Here is Werner for Chelsea, tripped by Onyeka. Free kick to Chelsea just inside the Brentford half. It's 0-0, and we've had 5 minutes of football.
That first 5 minutes, Shaw, you can see that they come out the traps really quick, Brentford. They wanted to try and make an impact, or certainly, just to make them uneasy, Chelsea. But Chelsea have showed a lot of class in the first 5 minutes as well. People like Kovacic has got the ball at the moment. They've known when to hold on to the ball, when to draw a foul, and it's been a very professional start for them.
Just the one defeat for Chelsea so far this season, at home to Manchester City. Werner nudges the ball back towards the edge of the penalty area, and the on-rushing Conte. It's cleared away by Henry, who was tripped by Conte in the same instance, and it's a free kick to Brentford inside their own 18-yard box. Brentford's only league defeat of the season, of course, came here against Brighton and Hove Albion, somewhat surprisingly, but they shocked Arsenal on the opening weekend, and we were here for the 3-3 draw against Liverpool, and I wonder, can something like that happen again? Of course, Chelsea will certainly have something to say about that. David Raya, the Brentford goalkeeper, in possession, very calm on the ball, sets up Onyeka, long sleeve shirt on, just shy of the halfway line. Now Zanka, right of the trio of Brentford centre halves, away to the left. The Brentford fans are all on their feet behind the goal. Thomas Tuchel, the Chelsea boss, is about 6 or 7 rows in front of our commentary position, his trademark baseball cap on, hands in pockets. Brentford still looking to play the ball out from the back. and Chelsea pressing them high up the field as Raya miscontrols that pass. It looked for a second, Alvin, like it might trickle through towards his own goal, but the keeper recovered easily.
Well, he certainly doesn't mind receiving the ball to his feet, does he, Raya? But looked
a little confidence,
a little overconfident there.
7 minutes played, 0-0. Live boxing from Newcastle on TalkSport 2 from 7 and TalkSport from 9 o'clock. The best way to listen to that is to download the TalkSport app. You can swipe between the two stations and you can listen to all our podcasts there as well. There are plenty of them. Chalobah under pressure, slices the ball high up into the air. Henry wins the downward header for Brentford. This is all in the middle of the Chelsea half. Then Chalobah hacks it over the halfway line. Werner will chase. The tall, leggy Pinnock is there first for Brentford. It's not a good clearance though. Straight to Lukaku, 35 yards from goal. Lukaku converged upon by 3 in red and white, but he does brilliantly to nudge it wide to Werner. Back infield to Conte, through to Lukaku. Lovely move this from Chelsea. In the end, crowded out on the edge of the Brentford box. But the home side here struggling to hold on the ball, hold on to it, and Chelsea are dominating possession, though it is still goalless.
Just an example of Lukaku's power there. Two Brentford players went for it. It looked like he lost the ball, but they just bounced off him. He was able to keep possession for Chelsea.
Here is Loftus-Cheek. Loud noise from the Brentford fans behind that goal. Come on, Brentford is the chant. But it's Chelsea who started the more confident side as Christensen floats the ball on the diagonal. Far side towards Azpilicueta. Can he keep it in? Well, he at least prevented the ball from going out for a goal kick, but it is a Brentford throw right by the corner flag on the far side of the field.
Big fan of Christensen. I think he's a really good centre half. I think he's going to have a big role to play. I think he signed another extension to his contract. I think he was into his last year, wasn't he? But he's certainly got everything that you want. He's a leader. I think he's becoming more and more influential in that respect for Chelsea.
He worked with Thomas Frank in the Danish youth setup. Here's Lukaku for Chelsea, laying it back to Kovacic on the edge of the box, surrounded by red and white shirts. Couldn't get the shot away. Brentford with Tony now dropping deep into his own half to receive possession. It's flicked forward cleverly by Henry to find Tony just shy of the halfway line, but once again Chelsea, very industrious, very efficient so far, are there to win the ball back very quickly. Here is Chilwell, just shy of halfway, nudges the ball infield, caught late by Sergi Canos, the former Liverpool player who's played in every Premier League game so far this season for Brentford. In fact, he's played now in their last 56 league matches, going back some time. And there's an issue here for Onyeka, Frank Onyeka, who has gone down, the Brentford midfielder, just inside the Chelsea half.
He's holding his face. I think it was a ball that was played inside for Chilwell. He was caught, the foul was given for that. But as the ball actually arrived between two players, they went for it, and he come off worse there, Onyeka.
03717 223344 for the game day phone in once we are done here at the Brentford Community Stadium. So much to talk about. Massive win for Liverpool at Watford. By massive I mean plenty of goals. Defeat for Claudio Ranieri in his first game in charge. Wolves scored 3 in the last 15 minutes to win at Villa. Leicester beat Manchester United by 4-2. Manchester City 2-0 winners over Burnley. A first win for Southampton, 1-0 over Leeds. Norwich against Brighton was goalless. In our Championship commentary on TalkSport 2, it finished Fulham 4, QPR 1, and the live Championship commentaries continue tomorrow. Midday start, one of the biggest games of the Championship season on your home of the EFL, TalkSport 2. It's Swansea against Cardiff, plus on TalkSport we'll have reports of Newcastle against Spurs. All the goals as they go in from that game, as they happen. It's a 4:30 kickoff, and of course the first game of a bright new era for Newcastle. It might be the last game in charge for Steve Bruce.
Looks like he's in a bit of trouble here, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It was a challenge between him and Loftus-Cheek. The ball got played from Chilwell in between the two of them, and he's a big man, isn't he, Loftus-Cheek? I think he's smaller on Onyeka, and I think it was the elbow of Loftus-Cheek innocently caught him in the face, but he's been down a long while now. They're still treating him.
The Chelsea fans singing loud and proud away to the right-hand side. Champions of Europe, they were chanting before the game. It was busy, this stadium, even as we arrived at 3 hours before kickoff. Lots of spectators milling around. It is a special day for Brentford, of course, in particular. They haven't beaten Chelsea since 1939, more than 82 years ago, and this the first league meeting for nearly 3/4 of a century. Onyeka still being treated, lying down on the turf now, about 20 yards in front of us, and Brentford may have to make a change here, and it's Mads Bidstrup who has come across to the near side and is receiving some instructions, and may well be about to come on here, the Dane, for a rare Premier League appearance. He's only 20 years of age. He has made 3 sub-appearances in the Premier League so far this season, Bidstrup, as Onyeka limps towards the near side touchline, and that's a blow for Brentford because he's been an influential presence in midfield for them so far this season, but it appears he may have to come off just 13 minutes in with the score 0-0. They're going to try and see if Onyeka can run this off. He jogs back on for now. You're with Talk Sport, and the game has restarted. Chelsea with comfortable possession just inside their own half, and the West Ham legend and former England defender Alvin Martin is alongside me.
It's a strange one, that, really, Onyeka, because it looked like it was a facial injury, and he looks okay. He's gone back onto the pitch, which I'm surprised at. If you are going to make a change, you would have thought they would have made it there and then.
He appeared ready to do so, Brentford. Bidstrup all but ready to come on, but play continues, and here's Loftus-Cheek for Chelsea, knocking it square to Conte. The diminutive Conte, so full of tigerish energy. Square to Chalobah on the overlap. Azpilicueta further wide, back to Conte, midway inside the Brentford half, 0-0 the score. Azpilicueta looks to drift infield. Again, Brentford have virtually everybody back behind the ball. In fact, everybody inside the Brentford half, bar the Chelsea goalkeeper, Edouard Mendy. The glare of the floodlights up ahead as Brentford managed to win a throw. Good work from Jensen with a tackle on the far side. His first Premier League start tonight. Matthias Jensen, the Dane who missed most of pre-season with an injury picked up when he was playing in the Euro 2020 semi-finals against England, but restored tonight with Shandon Baptiste out injured. And Brentford have a throw all the way on that far side. It's hurled long by Pinnock. Chelsea win it back and look to recycle straight away. Lukaku with his back to goal, holds play up well. Midway inside the Brentford half, Chilwell teases it back to the halfway line, and Sarr, the Premier League debutant with the red boots on. Now Kovacic looks up, steers the ball back to halfway, and Sarr once again. And Chelsea, as they seek the first goal, having to be patient here. Loftus-Cheek, square to Conte, much more cagey opening than the game here against Liverpool. Werner races forward, he's got Azpilicueta on his outside, tries to drill in the cross low. It's blocked by Rico Henry, and out of play on the far side. Azpilicueta will take it on the Chelsea right, deep into Brentford territory, surrounded by Brentford fans. Azpilicueta goes square to Conte. Conte looked to flick the ball back to his teammate, but it's cleared away once again, this time by Henry for Brentford. Back to the halfway line it goes, and Christensen, and already, Alvin, the game has entered a familiar pattern with Chelsea dominating possession, and Brentford, as you'd expect and as they've approached the Premier League so far, looking to play adventurously on the counter-attack when they win it back.
Yeah, I think they came out initially in the first 5 minutes, Brentford trying to have a quick start, but you've got to give credit to Chelsea.
Who won it back again, and now Conte steaming forward up to the edge of the penalty area, checks back onto his left foot, Conte goes for goal, it's well blocked, loose ball falls to Chilwell edge of the penalty area, surrounded by Brentford shirts, he can't get the shot away, then Kovacic is tripped, and Chelsea have a free kick, and Brentford and Thomas Frank are not happy.
Onyeka was right in front of the referee, wasn't it? It looked like he'd won that fairly, but Kovacic tried to hold on to the ball, has been deemed a foul. We've seen a replay over here, but again they're asking a lot of questions. Chelsea, the ball breaks just on the edge of the box, and as he tries to come away, you can see he just catches his right foot, and the referee's made the right decision.
Onyeka's challenge. Mads Bidstrup still warming up, by the way, for Brentford. They are sticking with Onyeka for now. It's left of centre, just over 25 yards out, so within shooting range. It's Kovacic and Lukaku over the ball, but Loftus-Cheek, Sarr and Chalobah are all forward for Chelsea. 16 minutes played on Talk Sports Game Day, live and exclusive from the Brentford Community Stadium. It's Brentford 0, Chelsea 0. Chelsea with a free kick in a dangerous position here.
Definitely doable.
Lukaku will strike it left-footed, and he'll curl it well wide of goal.
Yeah, he won't be happy with that. He's a long way off getting that right, and it was in a decent position for a left-footer to either get it over, and he could have gone left or right, and it would have been a problem for Raya.
On a mini goal drought by his very high standards. No goal in his last 5 appearances for Romelu Lukaku. Surely it's only a matter of time before that changes. Towering header away by Christensen at the heart of the Chelsea back line. That's a lovely bit of composure from Loftus-Cheek to just spin carefully, turn away from two in red and white. And now Conte, midway inside the Brentford half, seen a lot of the ball, the Frenchman, in these relatively early stages. As Piliqueta out on the right-hand side, sets up Conte on the underlap. Right-hand edge of the 18-yard box, infield to Werner. Good touch from Werner, back to Kovacic. Kovacic tried to dink it into the penalty box, came off on Yeka, and Chelsea win their second quarter of the game. And once again, it's on that far side of the field at the Brentford home end.
I think they're looking more and more assured, aren't they, Chelsea? I think the one disappointing thing, I think, from Tuchel is that they haven't forced a save yet from the Brentford keeper, but they're certainly doing everything else well.
Plenty of aerial ability in this Chelsea side. Chilwell lofts the corner high towards the penalty spot, well headed away by Pontus Jansson, the Brentford captain. And now Mbeumo looking to get off on the burst, darting down the right hand side. He's got Kovacic for company. Kovacic fouls Mbeumo. Brentford fans all out of their feet, appealing to the referee to show a yellow card, and he does so. Kovacic is booked, and Brentford have a free kick right in front of us in the right wing position.
Yeah, they've retained the ball so well in the last 10 minutes, Chelsea, and they haven't been able to get any sort of head of steam up, have they, Brentford? But that's always a possibility for them, because when you're getting dominated like that, you have got pace up front, and one ball down the side as it was there can also, you can spring a counter. And I suppose he was a bit unfortunate there, Kovacic, because I think he went for the ball genuinely, and he was just a little bit too quick for him.
Jensen is over the ball for Brentford. Janssen is forward, so too Zanka, Ivan Toney as well. Pinnock has gone to the far post, Norgard is up as well. Jensen hoists it high, Pinnock looking to arrive, flicked away by Chalobah from the edge of his own 6-yard box for Chelsea. Chilwell got to the loose ball first, his control was poor. And Brentford have it back on the halfway line, and they go all the way back to goalkeeper David Raya. Raya drives the ball through the air, intelligent pass towards Mbeumo, but it's well headed clear by Sarr, who's got his white socks, the Chelsea defender, rolled halfway down his shins. It's a throw to Brentford on the near side, and again there are home fans out of their seats looking to urge the home team on.
Been solid up to this point, hasn't he, Sarr? Really has, good header there, been good on the ball, composed. His team's playing well, and that helps.
Another throw to Brentford, deep inside Chelsea territory. Once again, Zanka, the former Huddersfield defender, who's played against Chelsea before in the Premier League, will come forward to take it. Toney near post is the obvious target, and Mbeumo forward as well, and on Yeka lurking dangerously on the edge of the penalty area. Zanka goes short towards Jensen, cleared away by Sarr. Alvin Martin shaking his head next to me in the commentary box.
Yeah, it was a poor throw-in. There's no excuse for a throw-in. He's given a chance to Sarr just to get in front and sort of clear that ball, but I can't believe they haven't just gone long on this anyway. Get it into there, try and relieve a little bit of pressure. You might get a corner, throw it in there, and let's all get about it. They have got a lot of big players, haven't they, Brentford? Height advantage to a certain degree. Throw-in's
been knocked back out wide to Zanka. Zanka hoists up the cross. Toney was there, Janssen up there too, and the deflection takes it through to goalkeeper Mendy, but it had gone out of play, and Brentford win their first corner of the game on that far side of the field. Somebody in the home section has unfurled a Danish flag. Of course, Brentford with plenty of Danish connections on and off the field, and the Brentford fans behind the goal rise to their feet as we prepare for this corner to be taken. Jensen has gone across to take it, and they're all crowding in front of Edouard Mendy, the Chelsea goalkeeper. It's 0-0 on Talk Sport in the West London derby here in the Premier League. 20 minutes played. Chelsea have brought everybody back. Jensen will swing it in, right-footed, headed away by Lukaku, easily. Poor delivery, really, from Jensen. Canos will get to the loose ball, near side the right, set up one against Liverpool, did Canos. Cuts in field, swings in a deep ball with his left foot, a reverse pass. Pinnock wins the initial header, Norgard knocks it down! Mbeumo hits the post! So nearly the opening goal for Brentford. It was a wonderfully orchestrated move, but now Chelsea on the counter-attack. Kovacic slips in Werner, near side of the field, the left. Lukaku in the penalty area, Werner for Lukaku! He tucks it in, but the offside flag is up and it won't count. So close to a goal at either end. Just seconds after Mbeumo hit the post, Lukaku denied the goal that he thought had put Chelsea in front.
Well, the excitement in the last sort of 3 or 4 minutes has exceeded what we've seen in the previous, and this really was a fabulous counter-attack by Chelsea. You know, they hit the post, Brentford, just got the ball into the dangerous areas, and it ricocheted a couple of times, and it was nowhere near really Mendy. When it came back out, the ball come down this left-hand side for Chelsea, and once he received it, Werner, he did absolutely brilliant. Went on the outside, played it in, and it was a lovely finish by Lukaku, but I think they've got that right just off.
Brentford are starting to sizzle. Henry, was he tripped? Yes, he was. The initial foul not by Conte, but possibly by Chalobah. The referee has pulled the play back for a Brentford free kick right at the lip of the centre circle. Brentford 0, Chelsea 0 on TalkSport. We are midway through the first half with WeBuyAnyCar.com. Get a quote in 60 seconds at WeBuyAnyCar.com. Free kick to Brentford. As I say, 10-12 yards inside the Chelsea half, and Mbeumo is over the ball. It's kind of just left of centre, so difficult for Brentford to work an angle, and Chelsea have set up with a very high defensive line, Alvin.
Very high, unusually high.
Mbeumo, one step, plays it square to Jensen, who was right next to him. Jensen floats it high to the far post. Janssen has kept himself onside. Flag did stay down. Pontus Janssen probably not the man that Brentford would have wanted in that sort of position. His touch was clumsy. It's gone out of play, and it's a goal kick to Chelsea. Brentford 0, Chelsea 0. For the latest odds, head to Betfair, the official betting partner of TalkSport's Premier League coverage. Right now, Brentford 9-2, Chelsea 13-20, the draw 5-2. That's all thanks to Betfair, where you'll get no cash-out suspensions on match odds on football. 18+, begambleaware.org.
That was a high line, as we mentioned there, Joe, from Chelsea, you know, facing that free kick, and they were fortunate really to get away with that. Janssen really should do better. He should chest that down. He's in behind the back line of Chelsea. He wasn't offside. If he chests that down, you know, they've got a real problem, Chelsea. I suggested that, you know, that was certainly 5 yards too high, that line.
Chances at both ends so far. Sarr lets the ball bounce. Christensen has to come and bail him out. Nods the ball clear cleverly towards the halfway line, but Brentford immediately win it back, and now here's Norgard in between the lines. Good sliding tackle from Chilwell to win it back for Chelsea, and now Loftus-Cheek tearing over the halfway line. The game is suddenly much more open now. Loftus-Cheek is fouled by Jensen. Free kick to Chelsea, 35 yards from goal, left of centre.
Well, we haven't seen a goal yet, but we've seen some great football from both sides, you know, especially Chelsea. I've got to say, they've caught the eye. And Loftus-Cheek, you know, he looks as good as I've seen him look in a long while. He's composed on the ball, he's strong. Whenever he receives it, he's always got an eye on where it's going to go, and I've certainly been impressed with him in this first 25 minutes.
Back-to-back Premier League starts for Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who faded really in his loan spell at Fulham last season after impressing initially. Chelsea have sent Chalobah, Christensen and Sarr forward for this free kick, which is headed away by Janssen with ease for Brentford, and now Brentford get a free kick of their own. Tony foul midway inside his own half. It is a different game, Alvin Martin, isn't it, to the 3-3 draw here with Liverpool, where it was goal crazy and just seemingly a never-end glut of chances at both ends. This one is a little more tight, a little more tense, but no less fascinating.
Well, I think both teams are taking chances, Joe. You know, I think it's set out for us to see goals. There's no doubt about it. It's about really taking the chances when they come along. And I think it's a sort of game that looks tight at the moment, but if you get one goal, I think it could really open up.
I'm being told there were 14 seconds from Brentford hitting the post to Lukaku's goal being given offside, as David Raya gives it away to Ruben Loftus-Cheek for Chelsea, who again win a free kick. It's dead centre, 10 yards to the edge of the box, and Brentford guilty of overplaying in their defensive third. The goalkeeper this time with a poor pass forward, and Chelsea have a free kick.
Well, that's something that certainly Tuchel's improved since he came. You know, they do press, and when they press with real intent. So if you aren't absolutely at it when you're on the ball at the back for Brentford today, you will pay the price. And looks like they have this probably is not as close as the one that Lukaku missed the target with 10 minutes ago, but looks like they are eyeing it up. There's not really too much you can do with this in terms of delivering it into a teammate. You've got to go for it, really.
Plenty in royal blue over the ball. Kovacic hands on hips, Werner to his right, and then of course Ben Chilwell, who scored against Southampton before the international break and scored his first England goal over the international break, is the left-footed option. Kovacic will curl it right-footed, takes a big deflection and loops onto the roof of the net. Very nearly dipped beyond the goalkeeper Raya, who was stretching, and Chelsea have a corner.
Yeah, really close. We were right behind that, weren't we? You hit it with a lot of pace, a lot of power, and the deflection really could have looped it right over Raya.
27 minutes played. Brentford 0, Chelsea 0. Fascinating game so far on game day on Talk Sport. Chilwell with the lime green boots on will go across to take the corner. Plenty forward, plenty of aerial ability in this Chelsea side. It's whipped in towards Chalobah, went near post, headed away by Ivan Toney, doing his defensive work just as diligently as he plays forward for Brentford, and then Chilwell's reverse pass from deep into the penalty area is easily taken by David Raya as the skies continue to darken up above. Norgard, the number 6, in possession for Brentford, just pops it back to Janssen, edge of his own half. The Champions League back on Talk Sport and Talk Sport 2 on Tuesday. Manchester City's trip to Club Bruges is on Talk Sport 2 at 5:45, and at 8 o'clock on Tuesday, Atletico Madrid against Liverpool on Talk Sport. Chelsea with Sarr in possession, near side of the field. Looked absolutely fine so far in his Premier League debut, Malang Sarr. And Toney is looking to chase the ball down the right wing. It's over the head of Christensen, but through to Mendy, all in bright orange.
They're struggling at the moment, Brentford. You know, they're defending valiantly, but like whenever they do get the ball deep in their own half, they can't really pass it out, and they can't really play that long ball I was talking about early, certainly with enough quality to get it up to Toney, where they can, join him. It's Chelsea who are now dominating large portions of the play.
Conte turning in field on the halfway line, square pass to Loftus-Cheek. Thomas Tuchel applauds. Loftus-Cheek looks like a really formidable physical presence for Chelsea in the middle so far. Werner nudges the ball square to the near side, and Chilwell just spins almost 360 away from Canos. Again, Chelsea content to be patient in possession as we tick towards the half-hour mark. Christensen has the ball almost on the centre spot. Now Kovacic, the number 8. He's got Norgard for company. Brentford sitting deep, everybody behind the ball. Chalobah, just to the right of centre, looks up, goes cross-field, high towards Lukaku, lurking in the penalty area. Flicked away well by Zanka, the covering defender for Brentford. Now Loftus-Cheek out to the near side, the left, and Chilwell back to Loftus-Cheek, corner of that 18-yard box for Chelsea. Here goes Sarr again. Conte back to the lip of the centre circle, pass after pass after pass for Chelsea. Conte wriggles in between Norgard and Toney to keep possession. Now Kovacic looks up, looks for Lukaku, who's made a run on the edge of the 18-yard box. Kovacic steers the ball wide left to the near side, and Chilwell again. Now Werner picks up play, plays a 1-2 with Conte. In the end, the ball runs for Kovacic, back square to Loftus-Cheek, 35 yards from goal in a central position. Wide to the right is Chalobah. Chalobah again, forced back to halfway. Brentford working well positionally, Alvin.
Yeah, they are, but there's an agency about Chelsea, and they're passing. They're asking a lot of questions. It's not just passing for the sake of it. They are actually passing with an aim, and no player really is just getting it and going square. They're always looking forward. They look square, obviously, to get the ball forward at the next pass. But there's a thought process. There's a philosophy to the way they're playing. I think when he first took over,
yes,
I remember Tuchel's side playing slow and ponderous. It's not like that anymore now. There's an intensity to the play.
He has been outstanding. Chelsea champions of Europe, Super Cup winners as well, and since Thomas Tuchel took charge, only Manchester City have picked up more points and more wins in the Premier League than Chelsea. David Raya, the Brentford goalkeeper, hammers the ball over the halfway line. We've had over half an hour. Brentford 0, Chelsea 0. There's a throw to Brentford right in front of us on the near side. Zanka, the defender as he's known, will take the throw right in front of Thomas Tuchel, who's hardly left his small technical area, right in front of the dugouts with the red leather seats. Zanka gets it back from Mbumo, looks up, plays a square ball to the feet of Onyeka. Onyeka darts away initially from Chilwell. Then was he fouled by Loftus-Cheek? The assistant right in front of it keeps his flag down. That's definitely a foul by Onyeka on Loftus-Cheek. Sergi Canos raging at the assistant referee. And Anthony Taylor, I think, is going to produce the yellow card here for the former Liverpool man. Indeed he does.
And he deserves it. It was a poor foul, really. Onyeka's fortunate not to get a yellow himself. And again, Loftus-Cheek on the corner of his own penalty area in a tight situation has won the ball and then kept the ball and drawn a foul. It's been a really good performance from him. I'm sure Tuchel will look at him, and think, oh, you might be in my plans more often now, because he's a huge physical presence in the midfield, but he's got such great technical ability as well.
That's the voice of Alvin Martin, more than 2 decades at West Ham. Alvin and I working together here for the very first time. Memories of the old Griffin Park with a pub on every corner. It's different surroundings these days, isn't it, for Brentford? As Loftus-Cheek slices the ball high up into the air. Werner in a pointless chase because Pinnock is there to just nudge it back into the gloves of the goalkeeper, Raya. Now here is Janssen for Brentford. Steers it back to his goalkeeper. Oh, it's nearly a very poor clearance from Raya. Somehow that went over the head of Lukaku, but didn't miss him by much. Brentford get away with it as Mbeumo, via deflection off Loftus-Cheek, finds Onyeka. Tony on the halfway line. Henry making the run out to his left-hand side. Tony's carried the ball over to the left wing. Square pass to Henry. Forward to Tony again. Twisting away. Swinging to the cross. Headed away by Christensen. Wasn't a great ball in by Tony. Jensen picks it up 35 yards from goal. Jensen looks up. He was urged to shoot. Plays it square to Norgard. Norgard onto Onyeka. Brentford continue to build. Brentford with Zanka now. 0-0 the score. Norgard through towards Canos. Could come back to Norgard on the edge of the box. He surely fouled Loftus-Cheek. Referee says no. Canos looking to spin and turn. And Mbeumo looking to cross. It's straight into the chest of Edouard Mendy. But dare I say it, Alvin Martin, had Brentford scored there, I think Chelsea would have had cause for complaint. I think there was a foul.
Well, Anthony Taylor's looking at Loftus-Cheek. It's a definite foul. Just outside the edge of the penalty area. I think you would have... You'd have seen a few moans, I think, from the Chelsea bench if anything would have come from that.
This is Talk Sports Game Day. We own Saturdays. The biggest matches at the biggest moments. And it's been a cracker so far today. Here is Azpilicueta skipping over the halfway line. Nudges it square to Conte. Conte looking to drift in field. Loftus-Cheek standing on the halfway line. Onto Sarr. And now Kovacic for Chelsea, wide to the near side, and Chilwell with his dark hair slicked back. Infield to the German Werner. Werner back out wide to Chilwell once more. Werner made a run down the left wing, but Chelsea content just to keep possession for now. Loftus-Cheek, lip of the centre circle, forward to Conte, through the middle. Conte turns away from Jensen, goes out to the right-hand side, and Azpilicueta, far side of the field, 5 yards from the corner of the penalty area. Lukaku's forward, so too is Werner, who is offside. Alvin, it was a point you made before the game. He's got to start scoring. He's got to start producing maybe a little more.
Yeah. I think the one thing that he will be a little disappointed with, Tuchel, is that they've played so well in this first 35 minutes. After the first 5 minutes where Brentford come at them, they've quietened the game down, they've dominated possession. The cutting edge that they need, when they do get wide and into the edge of the box, there's got to be 2 or 3 threats there. At the moment they've got Lukaku, but Werner's not really at it, is he? He's had one moment when he created a chance and Lukaku stuck it away, but apart from that he's played on the periphery of the game once again.
In fairness to Werner, of course he did score in Chelsea's win over Southampton before the international break. Christensen does well, gets in front of Mbeumo, clears the way for Chelsea up over the halfway line. Zanka wins the header, it drops for Onyeka, poor touch, one back by Loftus-Cheek. Great feat, Loftus-Cheek, to skip away from Norgard, and likewise Kovacic, who has to then turn, go back into his own half, and Chelsea can build again. You're listening to Talk Sport. Chalobah over the halfway line, early ball towards Werner. Has he got the pace to reach it? Just slightly overhit from Chalobah, and out came David Raya to dive on the loose ball, the Brentford goalkeeper.
Yeah, just overhit, wasn't it? As soon as it left his foot, I thought, I know he's quick, Werner, but he's not that quick. But look, I think the Brentford side are, they're hanging in there, which is what you've got to do, and then wait. And just, I think they want to be able to attack a lot more than what they are being given the opportunity to now. But I think when they do attack, and it's going to be obviously in certain parts of the game, it's making the most of it, Joe. You know, and thinking, okay, we are hanging in there, 0-0, we're very much in the game, and all we need is one chance, and you just then wonder what that would do to Chelsea.
We've got live boxing tonight across the network, 7 p.m. on TalkSport 2, 9 on TalkSport. You can swipe between the two stations via the TalkSport app. It's a proper fight night we've got for you, and a feist night unfolding here as it's floated forward high towards Chilwell. Lukaku looking to spin and turn. Werner takes over and hammers it over the top. Timo Werner from a terrific position, right on the edge of the penalty area, dead centre almost, and he couldn't keep the shot down.
Well, he's at least got to hit the target, Joe. He's at least, Chilwell does brilliant. A little cushion header for Lukaku, who's got the awareness to be able to bring Werner in. He lays it back, and really, he's got to hit the target there. Make the keeper make a save.
37 minutes gone, and the disallowed goal aside, that by far the best chance of the game so far for Chelsea. Brentford 0, Chelsea 0 on TalkSport with Now. Don't forget, with the Now Sports Day membership, you can watch Brentford against Chelsea live right now on Sky Sports for just $9.99 without a contract. Search Now Sports. Here's Canos right in front of the Brentford dugout, wins a throw off Chilwell. No, he doesn't. The throw's gone the other way.
He's going to have to be careful, Canos. He's going to have to be careful. He's getting involved in there. These little duels with Chilwell on this left-hand side for Chelsea and the right for Brentford. And Chilwell's got the experience maybe just to goad him a little bit. And all he's going to need is one little moment where he loses his discipline. He could pay the price.
Pinnock steers it back to goalkeeper Raya, who kicks first time, right-footed, high up into the air. Christensen with a great header away from Tony, applauded by Thomas Tuchel. Christensen been excellent so far tonight, the Chelsea centre-half. Chelsea without Rudiger and Thiago Silva. Here's Conte for Chelsea, back tonight, forward towards Kovacic, robbed by Zanka, midway inside the Brentford half. Loose ball falls to Conte. Good pace about this attack for Chelsea. Conte again driving forward, looks for Kovacic, 5 yards to the edge of the box. Lovely floated ball through for Werner. We tried to play it square towards Lukaku instead of going for goal. Brentford clear, straight to Lukaku, back to goal, edge of the box. Now Janssen steps in, Janssen nudges it wide to Canos. He eventually drives the ball away from the penalty area, but again Chelsea looking really dangerous as they come forward. Alvin Martin.
Yeah, certainly, you know, to the edge of the box they've been really good. They've kept possession just around the edge of the box. That's where they've got to improve. And again, Ben, I'd agree with you there. I think maybe he's got to be a bit more selfish and take the shot on himself.
Here is Chalobah out to Werner, almost in a right wing position here. Back to Trevor Chalobah again, onto Azpilicueta, hugging that far side touchline in front of the single tiered north stand here at the Brentford Community Stadium. Now Christensen forward to Conte, again seeing a lot of the possession. Conte with his long sleeve royal blue shirt on. It's Chelsea's number 7 again, striding forward at great pace, looking to thread the ball through towards Werner inside the penalty area, cleared on the stretch by Henry, and Chelsea win another corner. It's their 4th of the game, and once again I'm looking at Thomas Tuchel, Alvin, right in front of us, and he applauds the Chelsea intent.
Well, he'll be pleased with the way they've dominated possession in a very difficult place as well, against a team that's in really good shape in Brentford. But look, you know, they are starting to look more and more dangerous now, aren't they? You know, you can see a goal on the horizon.
Plenty forward for Chelsea. It'll be a left-footed in-swinging delivery from Ben Chilwell into the 6-yard box. Great punch away by Raya through a crowd of bodies. The goalkeeper, Werner, nudges it back out wide to Chilwell again, hoists in the reverse ball. Out comes Raya again. Terrific goalkeeping to take that one out of the air.
You know, he's not the tallest, but he's certainly got a lot of spring, hasn't he, Raya? And he comes a long way out. You know, that's just inside the edge of his penalty area. And it wasn't a bad ball. It wasn't one that was hoisted high in the air. It was a low elevated ball, but his decision making in terms of that coming for that ball has been excellent. And when he does catch it, he always looks to release it really quickly on the half volley.
5 minutes of the first half to go, plus stoppage time. Chilwell sliding in to win it back for Chelsea, but as he knocked the ball forward towards Lukaku, there was too much on it, and it's gone out of play for a Brentford throw. Lukaku, his disallowed goal aside, hasn't really been able to get into the game all that much.
But you can see that Brentford are getting a little bit frustrated now, aren't they? They can't get out their own half. You know, there was a threat at the start of the game going forward, but that threat really is diminished as the game's gone on.
And now Brentford have a throw, right back position, the right-sided centre-half Zanka will take it. Tony dropped all the way towards the edge of his own penalty area to receive the pass. Brentford work it up to the halfway line, but again Christensen wins it back for Chelsea. Now Kovacic looking infield from the left, looking to prod it through towards Conte. Too much on that pass. Raya again, the goalkeeper, read it well. Quickly off his line.
Joe, you can see, can't you, that the blue shirts now are swarming forward. They're getting balls in really advanced areas. They're asking a lot of questions, and it's a ball that maybe is overhit at the wrong time, or it's been defended well.
Floated forward by Tony, hopefully more than anything headed away by Chilwell. Chelsea have a great away record in the Premier League under Thomas Tuchel, and a great record in London derbies as well, particularly away from home. As Piliqueta drives the ball down the right, goalkeeper Raya comes way out of his box to chest it down, and then Henry clips the ball, floats it high. Tony wins the flick on. Now Mbeumo, good challenge by Sarr, coming across, read it well because Mbeumo's got electric pace. Brentford have a throw left wing position far side.
Yeah, see that danger there, the lovely flick on from Tony. He's read it, he's already on his way, but Sarr stayed with him, timed the tackle to perfection. It was really good defending.
Now it's a throw to Brentford, and they're going to take this one in long, I think. Ethan Pinnock has gone across to take it far side, almost right in front of the Chelsea fans. Zanka and Janssen right in front of the goalkeeper Mendy. Tony is there too, of course, as is Brian Mbeumo. 0-0 the score, deep into the first half in the 43rd minute. Hoisted in high by Jensen this time, deep to the back post. Chilwell gets ahead to it. Was the last touch off Norgard? No, it is a corner to Brentford. Chelsea not happy.
Yeah, it was a strange one, wasn't it? It was really lofted high. Looked like he dealt with it well, Chilwell. He's questioning the decision. I haven't seen a replay of it, but it's a good end to the half really for Brentford. If they can just keep the ball in and around Chelsea's penalty area with the height that they've got, and hopefully decent delivery from their point of view. You never know.
Brentford fans on their feet behind the goal. This time it's Mbeumo who's come across to take it in front of the East Stand. 0-0 on TalkSport. Still waiting for the breakthrough, and the delay in the taking of the corner itself. Referee's just having words with Tony and Azpilicueta inside the penalty area. Janssen lurking far post, Pinnock at the near, Zanka in there as well, whipped in high underneath the crossbar, but too close to Eduard Mendy, who takes it easily and confidently, the Chelsea goalkeeper.
Yeah, poor delivery. You know that Mendy is going to come. He'll come a long way, as Raya does for Brentford. So that ball's got to be certainly of a higher calibre than that was.
One or two spectators heading down the steps towards the concourse areas for half-time as I look around the ground. Forward by Loftus-Cheek, slightly left is Kovacic. Kovacic driving forward through towards Lukaku with the pass low along the ground from about the midway point of the Brentford half, and again it was overhit, and again it's through to David Raya. Chelsea have that star-studded bench, the likes of Mount and Hudson-Odoi and Kai Havertz, as Raya classes the ball high downfield through the air for Brentford, headed away by Chalobah. Loose ball is picked up by Mbeumo. Now Canos nudges it on towards Norgard. Good tackle by Sarr to win it back for Chelsea. And now they're striding forward, the team in blue. Lukaku to the right-hand side, into the penalty area. Lukaku twisting, turning, scooping it high towards the far post behind Werner. Werner will do well to keep this in. Under some pressure from Canos, he does. Plays it back to Chilwell. In a crossing position here for Chelsea. Last 30 seconds of normal time at the end of the first half. Werner, acres of space, drives into the box, but then checks back and hesitates. Whips it in towards Lukaku, headed away by Rico Henry. As Piliqueta was coming in far post, he would have had an open goal had Henry not got a crucial touch. Chelsea come again. Loftus-Cheek up to the corner of the penalty area. Now N'Golo Conte checks back onto his left foot, finds Azpilicueta, first time cross. Lukaku in there, comes out to the edge of the area, and it's thumped home by Ben Chilwell, and Chelsea lead as we enter first half stoppage time on TalkSport. And what wonderful goal scoring form Ben Chilwell has found. He's now scored in his last three for club and country, and right at the end of the first period, Chelsea take what you have to say is a deserved lead. It's Brentford 0, Chelsea 1.
Well, if a ball falls on the half volley, somebody's left foot, you want it to be Lukaku. Second in line will be Chilwell. And doesn't he make a great job of executing this? He's got time to measure it up, to look at it, and he really does thump it with that left foot, and there's no chance whatsoever for the Brentford goalkeeper.
Wonderful technique from Chilwell on a day of great Premier League goals. and Brentford's resistance is finally broken. Chelsea had threatened all half. They hadn't managed to carve out that one serious effort on goal, Alvin, and now they've done it, and Chilwell took it superbly, and it is probably a fair reflection of the game.
Yeah, they've been knocking on the door, certainly the last 15 minutes, really hard. And I think, again, Werner had a little role in that. He got down the left-hand side, they kept the press on, put a lot of pressure on them.
Flicked by Tony straight away, and Bumo was lurking but not close enough.
Yeah, and then, like I was about to say, maybe a little bit more risk they need to take, because they've dominated, a large proportion of possession. And when you get it round the edge of the box, take a chance on the ball. If it gets cut out, you're winning it back straight away. But I think that's the one thing that was lacking, but they just got it in. The ball fell to the right person at the right time, and as you've said, I think that the Brentford fans would agree with that. They have been the better side.
1-0 to Chelsea on TalkSport, deep into first half stoppage time, as Kovacic picks up a loose ball on the edge of the penalty area, looks for Azpilicueta, gives it away. That's a poor, risky pass. It's won by Mbumo, 30 yards from goal, looked for Canos, again crowded out, and Chelsea look really dangerous on the counter. Werner, has he got the pace to beat Pinnock? It's electric from Timo Werner. He darts down the right. Oh, Pinnock did just enough as Werner looked across, got a nick on the ball, and so Chelsea couldn't find Lukaku. What an exciting end to the first half. Long towards Mbumo for Brentford. Mbumo brings it down brilliantly, hangs up the cross. Tony, back to goal, far post, corner the 18-yard area. Brentford 0, Chelsea 1. Canos runs into Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and Loftus-Cheek's follow-through has seen him foul Tony, and it's a free kick to Brentford right at the end of the first half, in a very dangerous position, Alvin Martin.
Well, one thing is for sure, that, this is a Brentford side that have been playing full of confidence. They've been second best in this game so far. They're 1-0 down, just approaching half-time. They won't give up. Still got a lot of confidence in his team, I think, Thomas Frank.
Zanka and Janssen and Pinnock all forward. Tony is there as well, and Bumo and Jensen are the two over the ball. Onyeka and Norgard are joining the men in the penalty area. Chelsea lead 1-0, have brought everybody back to defend this free kick. It's Matthias Jensen. Tony went in near post, that came off Azpilicueta last. The ball still hasn't got out of play just yet. In the end it does, and the referee blows the half-time whistle. Well, Chelsea were knocking at the door for so much of that first period, and it's a familiar goal scorer, at least in recent times, who has them in front. Ben Chilwell, who scored before the international break against Southampton, scored his first England goal against Andorra over the international break, and has the only goal of the game here so far, with Chelsea, as things stand, heading back to the top of the Premier League table. At the break on TalkSport, on game day, Brentford 0, Chelsea 1. Well, we saw plenty of twists and turns the last time we were here for that amazing field draw with Liverpool, but Chelsea have looked so solid so far here in this part of West London and have been very impressive. They got the goal right at the end of the first period, Ben Chilwell with it, and that has given them a 1-0 advantage ahead of the second half, which is just moments away on TalkSport. A little chillier in the air, the sky's much darker now, the floodlights very much shimmering up ahead. Brentford will get the second period underway. No changes for either side. Brentford playing from right to left in the second half towards that home end, the west stand. Brentford fans packed behind the goal. Chelsea all in royal blue with white socks on, playing from left to right towards the east stand where the Chelsea fans in part are housed. Brentford in their red and white striped shirts, black shorts and black socks. I'll run you through the two sides once again in full in just a moment, but an early touch here for Chalobah for Chelsea, out to the near side, and Azpilicueta in the Chelsea right back position. Good movement from Loftus-Cheek to push it on to Conte. Conte, middle of the Brentford half, square to Kovacic. Kovacic has got Chilwell making a forward run, feeds Werner instead. Werner drops deep with his back to goal, and Chelsea very comfortable in possession, this elegant side. Chilwell has it, the goal scorer on the far side there left. Now Loftus-Cheek looks up. Lots of Brentford fans returning to their seats right in front of our commentary position here as Chalobah races down the right, and now Azpilicueta. Brentford again with everybody back behind the ball, and Raya is their goalkeeper. Zanka, Janssen and Pinnock the back three. Canos, Jensen, Norgard, Onyeka and Henry, with Tony and Mbumo the two furthest forward. Chelsea, Mendy in goal, Chalobah, Christensen and Sarr on his Premier League debut, the back three. Kovacic, Loftus-Cheek and Conte, the midfield three, with Chilwell and Azpilicueta out wide, Werner and Lukaku furthest forward. Conte drives infield from the near side, back to Christensen and Alvin Martin. The pattern of play, much the way it was at the end of the first half.
I'd use the word elegance, an elegant display so far by Chelsea, and it has been. I wouldn't disagree with that, but they have to find a way of getting in Chelsea's faces here, Brentford, making them not look elegant, which they are at the moment.
Kovacic driving forward, square to Conte, 10 yards to the edge of the D, pass hit, lofted high towards Loftus-Cheek, who did well to bring it down, surrounded by two in red and white. Chelsea continue in possession. Werner down the near side of the field, driving suddenly into the penalty area. Great acceleration from Werner, pulled the ball across. Pinnock cut it off at the near post. Chelsea have their fifth corner of the game on the near side as we look at it.
He's got a lot of confidence, Werner, in those sort of situations where he's taking the ball in congested areas, getting it moved and trying to get a cross in. He did ever so well there, didn't he? But it's just in front of goal where his confidence is really lacking, sticking the ball in the back of the net, and that's what he's there for.
Two of the three centre-halves forward for Chelsea, Sarr and Chalobah. Lukaku on the edge of the box. Azpilicueta it is, lurking right in front of the goalkeeper. Chilwell's left-footed in, swinging delivery, headed away, comes out to Conte, nudges it square to Kovacic, who scoops that miles over the bar. It looped up into the air and into the Brentford fans behind the goal, away to the right-hand side. 3 minutes played in the second half on Talk Sports Game Day. Brentford 0, Chelsea 1.
Yeah, you won't want to see that one again. But I look at this Chelsea side under Tuchel, and it's progressing all the time. I think it's getting better and better all the time. Is it good enough to win the Premier League? We shall see. But it is a team that knows that it might need another goal here, and it won't sit back and defend a one-goal lead. It'll. Oops, that's a wayward ball from Christensen. I think that's the first mistake he's made all game. He's been excellent.
Chalobah back to Mendy, who clears long.
But again, it's the mentality of saying, okay, you win a game by saying, okay, we're better than this team. We're keeping possession. We're dominating possession. Right, let's see 2 goals. Let's see 2 goals coming in with 15 minutes to play, and they will feel 2 goals will be enough for them to win the game.
Brentford fans sat all around our commentary position here. We're just a few rows behind the Chelsea head coach Thomas Tuchel, whose arms are outstretched because he appeals for a free kick, which his side get just shy of the halfway line. Chelsea really at the moment in complete control, albeit it is just a single goal lead, a 1-0 lead for Chelsea, who are going back to the top of the Premier League table as things stand. On the day where Liverpool put 5 past Watford, Leicester beat Manchester United 4-2. There was a late comeback win for Wolves at Aston Villa as Chilwell drives forward brilliantly for Chelsea, threads it left to Lukaku in the penalty area, low ball towards Werner, away by Pinnock. What a burst that was by Ben Chilwell, who's come back into the Chelsea side in recent weeks and has more than staked to claim for a regular place. He's making that left wing back place his own.
Yeah, he was way out on that left hand side, drove it infield, and then what he did then, under real pressure, he found a really good ball to his left to Lukaku, who then tried to thread it into Werner, didn't get it to the target, but great play by Chelsea.
5 minutes gone in the second period. Azpilicueta near side the right, infield to Conte. Marcos Alonso is on the bench for Chelsea tonight. Had a very good start to the campaign up until the home defeat to Manchester City, Chelsea's only Premier League loss of the season. Ball floated forward towards Conte, smallest player on the pitch, making a late run into the area. David Raya, all in green, is there to pluck it out of the air for Brentford.
But as we said early on, you look at their bench, Alonso's on the bench, Jorginho, Barkley, Mount, Hudson-Odoi, Reece James, Havertz. It's incredible the amount of talent they've got.
It is an embarrassment of riches. Here is Mendy, the Chelsea goalkeeper, all in bright orange, not had a save to make in the game so far. 03717 223344 for the game day phone in once we're done here with Dan Windle and Darren Ambrose. Conte forward to Lukaku, spins with his back to goal from the edge of the lip of the centre circle and now steers it wide to Azpilicueta in a crossing position, forward to Werner, dead ball line, pulls it back towards Chilwell. This time his back is to goal, finds Conte, and now Azpilicueta rolls the ball back 10 yards to Chalobah. Chelsea dominating possession.
Yeah, silky smooth. It's really a professional, clinical performance up to this point.
If they can get the second goal here, it might well be game over. Azpilicueta, right-hand edge of the area, left-footed cross, headed away by Pinnock. Brentford are really clinging on here. Tony miscontrols. Loftus-Cheek steps in front of him to win it back. Brentford, remember, have only lost once in the Premier League so far this season, albeit it was here at the Brentford Community Stadium. Now, the live football continues tomorrow on your home of the EFL. That's TalkSport 2 with a South Wales derby, Swansea against Cardiff, a midday start. And then later in the day, TalkSport will bring you all the goals as they go in from all of the Premier League games, including, of course, Newcastle's first game under new ownership at home to Tottenham. Tony, was he fouled midway inside his own half? No, says the referee. Just crowded out by royal blue shirts. But now Brentford are looking to launch a counter. And then Mbeumo is looking to race down the right. But Malang Sarr is there. And the French defender has made an impressive start to his first Premier League appearance. Excellent first 52 minutes. And he got it away there again, Alvin Martin.
Well, he certainly got pace. It was a good race, wasn't it? And he was never going to be second there, so.
You need it against Mbeumo. Here come Chelsea again this time. Kovacic towards the left and Chilwell much too much on it. It was very overhit and easy for Raya, the goalkeeper, the Spanish goalkeeper, to come out and play.
Just looking at Thomas Frank down to our left here. He's not far away from us, is he? But he must be looking, thinking, what can I do? I haven't got really the personnel on the bench to change too much here. I've gotten their ears at half-time. I've probably told them, get after them, make it uncomfortable for Chelsea, which they tried to do. But now you can see it's settled back into the same pattern. Chelsea is showing real class when they've got the ball and dominating.
Forward by Zanka, threaded down the right, low pass towards Canos. Sarr again into cross. Canos goes down, barely any contact, and the assistant rightly keeps his flag down. And Chelsea emerge almost nonchalantly with possession. There is a real confidence about this Chelsea side, of course. Brentford 0, Chelsea 1. 53 minutes on the clock on TalkSport with WeBuyAnyCar.com. Get a quote in 60 seconds at WeBuyAnyCar.com. Thomas Frank, just to the left of our commentary position. The Brentford head coach is in conversation with his assistant Brian Reamer, who delivered a rousing pre-match team talk in a huddle on the field before the game got underway, during the warm-up, in fact. But Brentford cannot get a grip on the game at the moment, Albert.
No, it's like they're chasing shadows. Chelsea are very good, very, very good. And the movements, every time their Chelsea player gets the ball, you've got 4 and 5 options. Whenever you're trying to get forward, the back three, I think, have got a lot of talent, a lot of composure on the ball, but all athletic as well for Chelsea. Chilwell's playing really well on the left-hand side. Azpilicueta is Mr. Consistent on this right. The front two haven't had as much ball, I think, in dangerous areas as the performance merits. That's the one thing I would say about Chelsea, but it's been a pretty professional affair from their point of view.
And the first league meeting between these two sides since March 1947. Chelsea won the last meeting between the two in any competition in the FA Cup as recently as 2017, and both Cesar Azpilicueta and Ruben Loftus-Cheek played that day, the only two players remaining for either team. It's a much changed Brentford since then. They've risen up through the divisions, promotion at the end of last season, and they've taken to the Premier League very impressively. A little flick by Mbeumo down the middle, slightly miscued header from Sarr. Tony, will he get to it before Azpilicueta? Yes, he will, in the left wing position. Canos and Mbeumo forward. Henry trying to attack Chalobah. Chalobah sort of steps low to block him, quite literally a low block. And Sarr will steer it back to Mendy, who drives it downfield and away from danger, the Chelsea goalkeeper. Janssen with a towering header. Finally, we're looking to the left-hand side. Finally, Brentford have some possession as they attack the home end in the second half. A goal down. Tony having his shirt tugged by Chalobah. Looks to Anthony Taylor. No free kick given. He expected it to be given. Play to the whistle. And then eventually, Brentford do get the free kick for what probably wasn't a free kick. They should have had one initially. And then they get one anyway, Alvin Martin.
Joe, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I think he's letting the game flow, and he's letting a lot go, a lot that I would penalise people for. And I think the players sometimes are looking at him going, are you sure that's a foul? He's done it really throughout the game.
Tony was looking for it then, that's for sure. Alvin Martin, former England defender, alongside me in the commentary box in the lower portion of the main stand. Bit of noise at the Brentford Community Stadium again. Free kick, 15 yards into the Chelsea half. Chelsea once again, long line of royal blue, and it's a high line. 5 yards to the edge of the penalty area. Pinnock has gone right to the far, well, it's not the far post because he's nowhere near the edge of the box, but it's the right wing position maybe for Brentford. 11 minutes into the second half, and Mbeumo, the bearded Mbeumo, standing over the ball, one arm up into the air. does clip it high towards the far post now, and Pinnock, good header away that by Trevor Chalobah for Chelsea. Pinnock, will he let it trickle out for a corner? It was the sensible option, and that he does. Corner to Brentford.
This seems to me the more likely avenue for a goal for Brentford. You know, a set piece, good delivery, got a lot of height, a lot of strength in there. You know, and at 1-0 it's still anyone's game.
Well, the goals that Chelsea have conceded so far this season have all come from set plays. Sergi Canos on the far side. The corner for Brentford. Swung in high, right-footed, away from goal, headed away by Loftus-Cheek, comes out to the edge of the box. Oh, and now it's fallen for Canos at the far post, clips it far, headed away by Lukaku. It's come out to Jensen, who recycles it, flicked away by the head of Chilwell this time, and driven clear up towards the halfway line, high into the dark night sky by Kovacic, and it's a throw to Brentford. For a brief moment, there was panic in the Chelsea ranks there.
Yeah, all of a sudden they had the ball inside the penalty area with no pressure on the ball. The ball was delivered to the far post, but he hasn't done too much going forward, Lukaku, but that was a great header by him then.
As we tick towards the hour mark, Chelsea lead by a goal to nil, and Chelsea have been the better side, but it is a slender advantage against a Brentford team who just don't know when to give in. Onyeka, was he caught by a sliding Sarr? Sarr got a foot to the ball. Assistant flags for a Chelsea throw on that far side in their left-back position. The Brentford fans were out of their seats, Alvin, but as a former centre-half yourself, you must have loved that chance.
Yeah, I think the referee's got that one right. 3 or 4 times I would have given a foul when he hasn't given it, and that's very, very rare does that happen. Where I come to a game and criticise the referee for not giving a foul, but no, it's a game that I think he's benefited from because it's flowed, isn't it?
Live boxing across the network tonight begins on TalkSport 2 at 7, and then TalkSport from 9 o'clock live from Newcastle. You can switch between the two stations via the TalkSport app, which is also the home of our various podcasts. Here is Ethan Pinnock for Brentford, midway inside his own half. Out to the left wing back position, Enrico Henry has to go all the way back to his goalkeeper. Oh, Brentford slowly growing into the game a little bit.
They've had a 5-minute spell where they've had more of the ball, but they've still not had it in the areas that they want to get it to consistently, and now the ball's back with the goalkeeper and they say, go on, play it long, and we'll win it. So they are trying Brentford, and sometimes when a team's playing as well as it is in Chelsea, it's very hard to get close to it.
Zanka from the right, Tony, was he tripped by Chalobah? Racing towards the edge of the penalty area, off the ball. Anthony Taylor definitely saw it. He was 10 yards behind it, he couldn't have missed it, and he adjudged it to be an accidental collision.
Well, what I would say there is that, that certainly Tony wouldn't go down. He thinks he's got a chance of getting that ball, and he's the other side of the Chelsea defender, Chalobah. I'd like to see that one again, Joe. There's certainly a case to answer for. When you actually see the reaction of Tony, it was an honest player, I believe, then that maybe tells you something as well.
We've got monitors in our commentary positions. We haven't seen a replay of it just yet, though. Loftus-Cheek spinning away from Mbeumo, driving past 1 and then 2 and then going down and winning a free kick midway inside the Brentford half. Anthony Taylor, the target of the derision of the Brentford fans, an hour gone on TalkSport. It's game day, and it's Brentford 0, Chelsea 1. And so we're going to have a look at the replay of that incident involving Chalobah and Tony on our monitor, Alvin.
Yeah,
what do you think?
I think it might have been accidental, slight contact with the back of his heel. He was the other side. He may have even been offside. It was a close call really for Tony, but you can see why he was frustrated. There was contact there, but I don't think it was meant by Chalobah.
The Premier League's newest West London derby. Half an hour to go. There could yet be a twist yet. Christensen sends it back to goalkeeper Mendy. Heavy touch under pressure from Tony. It was like he didn't see him coming. Mendy's clearance in the end was hurried and quick. Out of play for a Brentford throw, but it was unlike Edouard Mendy there. Thought he had all the time in the world and he had very little.
Just to see a little bit of a light at the end of the tunnel for Brentford, just like they're starting to get into the game a little bit more. They've lifted the crowd is trying to lift the team, and I think they've responded for this. Well, they're not in complete dominance, which they have been for the majority of the game, Chelsea. Now all of a sudden, there's a better share of the possession for Brentford.
Well, the phone's been delayed because Mendy is going to have to tie his laces, so he's taken his gloves off the Chelsea goalkeeper, looking for a 20th clean sheet in the Premier League, and actually Cesar Azpilicueta's having to do the honours instead.
That reminds me, I have to do that for my grandson, Frankie.
Was he wearing goalkeeping gloves? Mendy is back ready to go again. Brentford are ready to take the throw. Zanka with it, 1-2 with Mbumo. Far side, all the way on the far side, the East Stand, as we look at it here on Talk Sport. Ball bounces into the Brentford half, headed away by Janssen. Now it's back with Zanka. Square ball to Norgard. Dark-haired midfielder. Forward to Mbumo. Just flicks it high in the air. Not a good ball. Chelsea been so quick to win it back in that midfield three. And now Kovacic threads it down the left towards Werner. Janssen is across, just in front of Werner. But I tell you what, if Chelsea can find the right pass on the counter, then either Werner or Lukaku are going to get through on goal.
Kovacic really should do better with that, Joe. You know, that's a really great opportunity to be able to get your head up, slide it down the side, and he didn't get it right.
1-0 to Chelsea. Conte, that's a great ball for Werner into the penalty area, but across came Zanka to get the vital touch to clear it away. And actually Matthias Jensen has gone down now, the Brentford midfielder wearing number 8, his first start in the Premier League. I think it was after that turn from Conte away from him. Brentford physio hasn't been rushed on just yet, and I think Jensen is just going to limp up and try and continue.
Well, they've had a good spell the last 5 minutes, Brentford, but we've just seen 2 instances. Kovacic had the ball, and then Kante had the ball. The ball was turned over from Brentford's point of view, and all of a sudden they've got a target front. If either of them balls finds Werner or Lukaku, then you think, okay, well, we could see a second goal. So it's a really dangerous game in that respect for Brentford.
Looking down right in front of us on the near side, Mason Mount has got his Chelsea kit on, but he's still sitting at the moment. He's not quite ready to come on. As Christensen gets in front of Canos for Chelsea. Good ball to squeeze it into the feet of Chilwell. And Brentford might be about to make a change shortly too, as Chilwell's fouled and Chelsea win a free kick. There might even be a double change on the way for the home team.
Christensen's been immaculate at the back. You know, I don't think he's been under that much pressure, but whatever he's done has had class written all over it, all evening. You know, his composure, his positional sense, his leadership qualities. You know, he's got 2 younger players either side of him, but they've looked at, you know, a formidable trio.
Mason Mount receiving some final instructions from Thomas Tuchel. Werner for Chelsea, halfway line, looking to spin away from Onyeka. Now Kovacic takes over, floats it high forward towards Lukaku through the middle, hooked away by Pinnock. Brentford a little desperate in their defending there. It's come back to Werner. Now Chilwell on the edge of the box. Will he go for goal again? He crosses high over the top of the head of Lukaku. And then Henry thumps it away up to the halfway line on the near side. 64 minutes into the game. Game day on Talk Sport. No better place to be on a Saturday. 1-0 Chelsea lead as Tony wins a free kick. And confirmation of the Chelsea change. Mateo Kovacic on a yellow card. Mason Mount on in his place.
Tony, how well did he do there? Right down below us on the halfway line. It's a fight ball. He's got himself in between the ball and Chalobah, the Chelsea defender, and he's got his team a free kick at a time when they needed it as well.
Well, Brentford want to shake things up a bit here as well. Marcus Force, who is their joint top scorer, but all of his goals have come in the Carabao Cup, is ready to come on. He is their number 9, the big Finnish striker, receiving some instructions from Thomas Frank on the near side, so his introduction will have to wait a couple of minutes. Chelsea in possession, Loftus-Cheek tangling with Norgard. Well won back by Conte. Conte looking to stride forward, but Brentford eventually crowd him out and get it back themselves. Brentford a little more positive now, but Chilwell has intercepted a crossfield pass, and now he's over the halfway line, and Lukaku's herring down the left, and Mount is through the middle. Lukaku waits for it, gets it from Chilwell, swings in the cross. Werner far post again, it's overhit, and again not quite that quality in the final third for Chelsea, and the flag was up anyway.
Well, credit to Brentford, Joe, because this has been an excellent performance by Chelsea, and I think there'd be other teams in the Premier League facing Chelsea tonight that would be more than 1 goal down. So they're still very much in the game. So from that point of view, they can be pleased with that. What they've got to do now is, okay, can we get ourselves a goal? Can we get back in the game in a real sense? And they're going to make a couple of changes, it looks like, trying to force that.
Frank Onyeka coming off. He's got a bandage around his head. He took that knock in the first half, came out for the second half with the bandage on, and his evening is over. And here comes Marcus Forss. 5 goals so far this season, but not one in the Premier League, at least not yet. Brentford 0, Chelsea 1 on Talk Sports as we tick towards the final quarter of the game. Header from the right back position by Azpilicueta, not away for Chelsea, not at least convincingly, but Loftus-Cheek, who has been a steadying influence in midfield, plucks the ball out of the air calmly, and now Christensen, who's been excellent at centre-half, sweeps it long through the middle towards Lukaku. Good defending by Zanka on the stretch to flick it away. Chelsea coming again. Mount down the left-hand side. Can he force his way beyond the defender? No, he can't. Pinnock plays it back to Janssen, who scoops it clear up to the halfway line. Chelsea have it back. If there is to be a next goal and Chelsea get it, then it's surely game over. But if it were to go to Brentford, then anything really could happen, as we've seen on this ground this season, Alvin Martin.
And we've seen a lot of drama in the Premier League today.
Yeah,
a lot of drama.
5 for Liverpool at Watford. Leicester beat Manchester United. Wolves with a comeback victory over Aston Villa. A first win for Southampton. A comfortable win for Manchester City. Lots to talk about on the game day phone in 03717 223344. Jensen caught on the penalty area for Brentford. He's got options in the middle in red and white. Plays it back to Tony. Edge of the box. Tony with a little back heel instead of shooting. Cleared away. It's come back to Norgard, and then in the end it was a foul by Zanka. Just shy of halfway on Werner. Free kick to Chelsea. First time we'd seen Tony with a sight of goal, Alvin, and he doesn't take the shot.
Why didn't he put his foot through it? You know, I'm waiting to see a replay of it and see if it is on for him. But, you know, even if you think it's going to get blocked, still have the shot. You might have got a deflection. You know, these chances aren't going to come along too often. You can see, all right, he's being faced up by Mason Mount, I think it is. But it was on really to hit that first time. Once he had a touch, the chance was gone.
Game day returns to your radio next Saturday, of course. More live and exclusive commentaries from the Premier League and the EFL. Here's Conte for Chelsea. Don't adjust your radio as far as this one's concerned, because it is end-to-end at the moment. Mount, the Chelsea sub, left of centre. Chilwell on the overlap, hugging the far side touchline. Chilwell by the corner flag in front of the Chelsea fans on their feet. Away on that far side, the northeast corner of the stadium. Now Loftus-Cheek. Square to Sarr with the red boots on. Back to the halfway line, Christensen. Just over 20 minutes to go. Chelsea lead by the odd goal. Here is Azpilicueta, so experienced. Robbed though by Tony on that occasion. The Brentford fans in front of us applaud. Now Henry clears from the left back spot, and Bumo will chase this. Sarr, not a convincing back pass, but goalkeeper Mendy, I mean, it just had enough on it from Sarr, just enough.
Yeah, no, he's been good. You know, his debut has been, again, 100% perfect up to now. And the performance from Chelsea has been a perfect one up to this point, hasn't it? Because I can't remember Mendy having to make a save. I think he
hasn't had one.
No.
Now Mount for Chelsea, 35 yards out, left of centre, finds Conte. Conte for to Werner, from around the penalty spot, shoots, it's blocked, rebound falls to Lukaku! He's hammered it over the top, the flag is up, and the flag spares his blushes, because that was 6 yards, left foot, miles over, Alvin Martin.
Well, the flag did go up, so it wouldn't have counted, but...
I didn't know.
No, I can't believe he's done that. I can't believe he's not kept that ball down.
A chance that he would normally convert with ease. He may yet get another one. Here is Conte, controls in his chest, just amazing energy, Conte, but he's been robbed of possession. Now Mbumo for Brentford, having got it from Force as part of this new look front three. And Mbumo races down the left, look for Tony in the penalty area. Sarr came across, I think did just get a nick on the ball, shrugged aside Tony. It's gone through to Mendy, and again Thomas Tuchel applauds. Malang Sarr was potentially thought to be going out on loan at the start of the season. He only made his Chelsea debut in the League Cup recently against Aston Villa, but he has looked an integral part of a Premier League back three tonight.
No, the back three has been, really strong, solid, organised, intelligent. I think that back three will probably, delight Tuchel more than any other aspect of the performance tonight.
Especially with a busy run of fixtures for Chelsea to come. 3 straight home games. Malmo in the Champions League, then Norwich in the Premier League, and then Southampton in the Carabao Cup, live on Talk Sport 2.
You can still see the spirit in this Brentford side, though. You know, they're a side that will keep going. Don't know when they're beaten. the game's certainly not over. So they are just little bit by little bit getting back into the game. They're sort of edging their way, sort of grinding their way back in.
Inside the last 19 minutes. Noise from the Brentford supporters. Saman Ghoddos, the Iranian international, is ready to come on. Thomas Frank with his arm around the player. Little flick down the right by Canos. It's cleared away by Sarr, and it's out of play for a Brentford throw on that far side. Zanka's going to come forward to take it. Before that, here comes the change, and it's Ghoddos for Sergi Canos, who was on a yellow card. Might mean some reorganisation for Brentford here, maybe, as Ghoddos races on. Last Brentford goal was in February. He could do with one here. So too could Thomas Frank at about 16 of the 17,000 or so in this stadium. Zanka is going to take a long throw all the way on the far side of the field. Pinnock has gone to the near post. So too has Janssen. Didn't really get much on that, Zanka. The flick by Pinnock. Anyway, Tony with a snapshot that's palmed away by Mendy at the near post, and he certainly had a save to make now. It's a corner.
I think you're right. I think the throw didn't go according to plan, but it caught Chelsea by surprise because of the lack of distance on it. And when it was flicked on, he hit it first time, didn't he, Tony? Couldn't really get lots and lots of power on it, and he sort of hit it into the ground. And he's been able to make it, I suppose, a standard save there, Mendy.
It's a corner. And Mbeumo over the ball on the far side. Cluster of Brentford players on the edge of the box. It's taken short and steered by Jensen into the path of Mbeumo, who clips it high, deep delivery. Janssen underneath it, back to Tony. He nods it back across goal. Chelsea struggling to scramble it away. In the end they do. Hammered long and away by Mount. Werner chasing. Brentford go back to the goalkeeper. 17 minutes left. Brentford 0, Chelsea 1. Could be a photo finish on Talk Sport. It's long towards Pinnock, who'd stayed forward. Janssen might reach this. Goalkeeper comes out to clear Mendy.
Game on. Listen to the crowd. I think the Brentford players are certainly feeding off the crowd, and this is a pivotal moment in the game now.
Janssen has stayed forward again. Noise is really starting to pick up. I'll give you the match odds. And for the latest odds, head to Betfair, the official betting partner of TalkSport's Premier League coverage. Right now you can get Brentford 50-1, Chelsea 1-8, the draw 11-2, all thanks to Betfair, where you get no cash out suspensions on match odds on football. 18 plus, begambleaware.org. And Mbeumo, far side the right for Brentford. Half tackled by Loftus-Cheek, but Norgard's there to pick up the loose pass. Force goes from Mbeumo in the penalty area. Hits the post, comes back to Force, who shoots. It's blocked. How are Brentford not level? Amazing.
Well, it's a turnaround now. They really are in the game 100% now, Brentford, and it looks like he's going to make a change, Tuchel. He's certainly worried about the complexity of the game and this stage of it. Certainly he's not going to make any change. He's trying to change the course of the game, because for the first time in the game it's in Brentford's favour.
Quarter of an hour to go, and this is what it's all about on game day on Talk Sport. Brentford 0, Chelsea 1, floated forward by Jensen. Thomas Tuchel arms up on the near side touchline, desperate for Chelsea to regain some control. Kai Havertz is going to come on shortly, but they haven't got control, Chelsea, at the moment. Brentford's best spell of the game by miles. Janssen centre circle, forward towards Force. Neat flick to Ghoddos, the sub. His pass is not good. Intercepted. Scooped away by Christensen. One back by Norgard. Suddenly, Brentford are quicker to the second ball's out.
Chelsea can't get out now. For the first time in the game, they can't get out their own half.
It's a reverse of what we've seen for most of the 75 minutes. Tony far post brings him on ball down. He found by Chalobah. The assistant is flagging. Offside. But he's flagging for offside. And Chelsea and Trevor Chalobah maybe get away with one there. The Brentford fans all around us were up as one.
If he's not offside, it's a penalty, in my opinion. But the flag went up. Just looking at it now. Oh, that is so tight.
I think he's on. Is he?
If he's on, that's a penalty.
From what we could tell, and our producer back at base has had a look at it as well.
That's a penalty.
Onside, so Brentford are unlucky.
That is a penalty, in my opinion.
Well, of course, because of the offside decision, it's not going to happen. Here comes Havertz on in place of Romelu Lukaku, who is already back sitting down in the dugout behind Thomas Tuchel.
I said early on, though, credit to Brentford. I think, another team might have been more than one down and wouldn't still be in this game, but they are well and truly in it.
But Chelsea looking for a clinching second goal as Piniqueta looked to drive infield, robbed by the tall Pinnock, the much taller of the two players. 13 and a half minutes left. Foul by Werner on Norgard. Free kick to Brentford in their left back spot. And the Brentford fans are getting ever more passionate and raucous with every minute that goes by, as they seek another famous result in the Premier League. Zanka has it out on the right for them. Zanka square and infield to Jensen, centre circle. Back now to Pontus Jansson. Thomas Tuchel watching on with his arms folded on the near side touchline. Forward by Jansson, flicked by Force, turns it down the right, and Bumo gets to it in front of Chilwell. Chilwell, though, does well, puts a tackle in and clears. Feels a long time now, Alvin Martin, since his goal at the end of the first half.
Yeah. So look, this is intriguing, isn't it? You can't take your eyes off it. It really is interesting.
Pinnock and Jansson both forward, because it's another Brentford throw, level with the edge of the Chelsea box, and again Zanka is the man who's going to take it. Can he get something really behind this one? On the far side, looks towards Pinnock at the near post, headed away by Christensen. Havertz gets a touch on it, comes back to Zanka, right wing position once again. Chilwell comes across right by the corner flag. Again, it's another Brentford throw in front of the West Stand end, and again those Brentford fans are on their feet trying to suck the ball into the net.
It's the first time the technical area, the Chelsea technical area down below us is a lot more animated, isn't it? They're showing real concern at this stage of the game.
12 minutes left. Just a single Ben Chilwell goal separates the two teams in this West London derby in the Premier League. We'd waited 74 years for it. Long throw into the penalty area. Havertz missed his initial flick. Comes out to Force on the edge of the box. Shot is blocked. Chilwell hammers it clear. Away for Chelsea. Throw to Brentford just inside opposition territory. They're going to keep coming.
What was he doing there, Havertz? What a terrible header. He's a relieved man. Nothing come of that.
03717 223344 to have your say on the game day phone in. Once we're done here, Chilwell gets a touch on a cross and it's cleared away. It's a throw to Brentford again, right by the corner flag. Zanka's wiping the ball down with a towel. Pinnock is forward. Tony is there. Jansson's in front of the goalkeeper. Norgard and Mbumo are at the far post. And it's Zanka hurling it in long, deep into that Chelsea penalty area, flicked away to the edge of the box. Ghoddos hits it. It takes a deflection, and in the end it flies through to Mendy, and the goalkeeper just drops down on the ball, at least initially, and then throws it over arm to Conte as Chelsea look to launch a counter-attack. And Chelsea just trying to get a foot on the ball at this point.
Yeah, they need to really click back into where they were. They've been under extreme pressure. To be fair with them, they've coped with it as well. They've put themselves in the way of the ball, which you have to do now and again. But now it's about really getting back to the technical side of the game and letting Brentford chase the ball, which they are doing at the moment.
Werner, wearing number 11, drops deep to the halfway line, looks to angle the pass out to the near side to right, and as Piniqueta back in field to Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Now as Piniqueta again, threads it down the right towards Conte. Conte held up by Pinnock. Pinnock spins a full 360-degree turn. Not enough to keep the ball against somebody as tenacious as Conte.
He is combative, isn't he? He is.
And he's more than that, isn't he, really?
Brilliant player.
Here he comes down the right wing. Only Havertz really in the middle for Chelsea. Back out to Conte from Werner, who flicks it to the right again, and Werner's continued his run right by the dead ball line. Chilwell far post for Chelsea, mounts on the edge of the penalty area. Brentford 0, Chelsea 1. We are into the last 10 minutes. Conte again. Chelsea not trying to force the issue. It's been slipped into Loftus-Cheek, right at the edge of the D. That's a lovely dink pass to Timo Werner. Goalkeeper really quick of his line, did well again, Ryan.
He did, and that he had to be sharp there. He was out so fast.
Great bit of control by Mbumo to bring down a long clearance from the goalkeeper on the far side, the right wing for Brentford. It's out of play for yet another throw. Goddos this time goes short, back to the halfway line, and the defender Zanka. Jensen turns on halfway. Now Janssen, the captain, forward to Norgard, 10 yards into opposition territory. Brentford, who have another home game to come against Leicester, who put 4 past Manchester United today. As you heard on Game Day Live with Adrian Durham around the grounds. Havertz chasing a long clearance from Chilwell. Havertz has got to it first in front of Janssen by the corner flag, but Janssen in the end shrugs him aside, goes back to the goalkeeper. In fact, the referee here is saying, I think, Alvin, that it's a Chelsea throw. The ball had already gone out of place. It's a throw to Chelsea in the middle of the Brentford half.
He's not very popular tonight, is he, Anthony Taylor? He hasn't really given Brentford that much, to be fair.
Brentford 0, Chelsea 1 on TalkSport with Now. Don't forget, with the Now Sports Day membership, you can watch Everton, West Ham, Newcastle, Spurs live tomorrow on Sky Sports for just $9.99. Without a contract, search Now Sports. TalkSport will have a big presence for you at St James's Park tomorrow. We'll bring you all the goals as they go in, as Newcastle start life under new ownership, and maybe for the last time with Steve Bruce in charge. Janssen scoops the ball long for Brentford. Header from Sarr, out of play. Brentford throw far side, and ironic cheers from the home supporters. They have created a couple of good opportunities in this second period, Alvin Martin, the home team, but can they find an equaliser? Goddos looks towards Mbumo, cut out by Sarr. A lot more adventurous all of a sudden.
Yeah, they are. But look, they're putting a lot more pressure, and they are. I said it early on. They're in Chelsea's faces now, aren't they? They're making it much more uncomfortable.
Tony reverse ball towards the far post. It's dropped to Goddos. Brilliant save by Mendy. And Chilwell was back there helping out too. Chelsea still can't get it away, and it's off the line. What a clearance in the end from Chalobah, and what a save by Mendy.
Well, it was incredible. He hasn't had that much to do, Mendy, but he's out so fast, and this is a surefire goal. Unless he does what he does, he comes out, he narrows the angle, he makes a great save, and then the ball just can't be cleared by Chelsea. It's banging around like a ping pong machine. It really is incredible that hasn't ended up in a goal. Fantastic save by the keeper, I've got to say.
And it was Norgard's effort, which was then cleared off the line by Trevor Chalobah. Brentford have done everything but get the equaliser. 6 minutes to go now. Attacking the home end, Zanka takes the throw short, back to Rico Henry, who scoops in the high cross. Goalkeeper punches away, comes out to Goddos on the edge of the area. Conte got to it first, made a brave block. Another Chelsea change on the way, but Brentford haven't got time for that. They're looking for an equaliser. Henry from the corner of the box drills it in deep towards the far post. It's a looping header towards Tony. Again, it's well dealt with, comes out to Norgard, takes a deflection. Chelsea scrambled it away. It's attack v defence. Somehow Chelsea are hanging on. Somehow Brentford aren't level. Here they come again. Mbumo on the edge of the penalty area, and this time Chilwell scoops it high and long and away, and Brentford have got it back again, and the supporters are urging them forward for yet another attack. Goddos threading it down the right, and Mbumo crosses, thumped away by Sarr on the volley. Can Chelsea hold out for 5.5 minutes plus stoppage time?
Wow, you've got to give credit to Brentford. You know, this has been a really comfortable evening for the most part for Tuchel, but look at him down there now. You know, it's a completely different scenario for him. He's got to bring James on now. He needs another defender in there, because if he doesn't get this settled down, Brentford are going to equalise.
Reece James, as you say, ready in royal blue, but Brentford are going to take the throw first. Trailing by a goal to nil. It's gone back to Zanka, who's in a crossing position. He does deliver right-footed. Oh, it very nearly fell for Tony, and then Janssen as well. And Mbumo left-wing position, gets it back to Goddos. Goddos scoops it high, deep to the far post. Janssen's in there! Another brilliant save! Another wonder save from Mendy, spreading himself so bravely. And now Chelsea are trying to counter, but Henry's got there, and Edouard Mendy has kept Chelsea in contention to going top of the Premier League table here. He's kept their 1-0 lead intact almost single-handedly.
Well, I think that one is even better than the first save he made. It's incredible. It's how they not scored here, Brentford.
Brentford are throwing caution to the wind to say the very least. It's floated down the left by Godos, and Chelsea have got holes in the back line here. Tony, left-hand edge of the 18-yard box, tries across, it's steered away by Christensen, but there's no respite for Chelsea. Norgard goes deep, cross-field, Pinnock heads it back across goal. Godos was coming in at the far post, Azpilicueta let it run, Godos wins it back, he was quicker to it, headed away, the cross, it comes out to Norgard, tried to hit it on the volley, balloons up into the air, header won by Pinnock, Janssen looking to spin with his back to goal, it's wide, it's crossed in, and it's cleared away by Chelsea again. This is an onslaught on the Chelsea goal, and somehow Chelsea lead 1-0 on Talk Sport, and they're going to try and slow the pace here by making the change. It's James for Azpilicueta.
What a game, what a game. It's had a bit of everything, and they've been imperious for the most part. Technically, what a great performance by Chelsea, but the last, I'd say, 8 or 9 minutes has been about guts, all about guts. Mendy's had to make 2 wonderful saves. That one was with his head, the last one, but he came out, he was so brave. It really is, game-changing saves. 2 big saves by the Chelsea keeper.
Mendy has gone down, and he's going to be treated by the Chelsea physio. He made an amazing save with his head. What a bargain, the signing from Rennes, a home of great Chelsea goalkeepers, of course, with Petr Cech in the past, and now Mendy looking for his 20th Premier League clean sheet, and if he can get it, this will just about be the one that he's earned the most through his performance here.
I said early on as well, you're still down having treatment, the Chelsea goalkeeper, but many a team would have buckled under the pressure that they were under and maybe given up, but I've got to say the crowd have played their part. They've stuck with their team all the way through, and this last 10 minutes or 15 minutes is pure desire by Brentford, because they refused to give in, and gradually they've got themselves back in the game to the extent where Chelsea are hanging on.
2 minutes to go plus stoppage time as Azpilicueta does leave the field. Here comes Reece James back from injury, and maybe just to add a bit more height to the Chelsea back line. In fact, James hasn't officially come on yet. Mendy is still being treated, takes a swig of water, and Brentford are going to have a throw on the far side. Zanka will take it, and Chelsea still waiting to officially make the change, and now Azpilicueta does come off and James does come on. I think they were a bit worried about the goalkeeper, who took a ball to the face from Janssen, the bravest of saves. Janssen still looking for his first Brentford goal. He's forward again here. So too is Tony, so too is Pinnock. The penalty area loaded with red and white shirts. Chelsea all in blue with everybody back. Long throw by Zanka in towards the near post. Jensen floats it high to the far, and Bumo flicks it on. Norgard trying to get underneath it. Still Norgard. The referee has given Chelsea a free kick. Alvin Martin, they are into the final minute of normal time.
How quick has this gone, this game? Especially this second half, because it's been so exciting. We've only seen 1 goal, but you've never known which way this game is going to go. You thought that Chelsea, if they got a second game, it would be all over. A second goal didn't come, did it for them, and they just fought their way back in. The desire, that's the word I used before. The desire that they've shown Brentford is from a team that really is feeling good about itself.
Champions of Europe are hanging on here, but if they win, they're going to go top of the Premier League, Chelsea, and that's what champions do, or potential champions, of course. Here is Janssen on the halfway line for Brentford to win it back. Forward to Tony, neat flick towards Marcus Forss. It's cleared away by Christensen. Loftus-Cheek very nearly doubting in possession. You have to say, great feat though to keep control in a very difficult area as we enter 4 minutes of added time on Talk Sport, with the game day phone-in still to come once we're done here. What a game day it's been. Mount looking to thread it through towards James, who'd made an underlapping run. It's a throw to Chelsea deep inside the Brentford half, and Thomas Tuchel can very nearly, Alvin Martin, breathe a sigh of relief. We don't want it to end though. Nobody wants it to end.
I can't believe there are going to be many people that leave this stadium with 3 points this season. That's how good he's got them organised.
Mount right-handed to the penalty area, trying to force his way through. It's sent back to the goalkeeper by Norgard, flicked by Forss towards the halfway line. Sarr did well again, the Chelsea centre-half. What a pressurised situation to come into, Malang Sarr, and he has dealt with it admirably for the most part.
There's a look about Chelsea, though, isn't there? You know, we know about the quality they've got, the European champions, but they've had to show real fight and togetherness, in the last sort of 10 minutes, and they've done that.
Godot's trying to knock it forward for Brentford. The rebound falls to Zanka on the halfway line. Zanka turns and finds Janssen. A minute through, 4 added. Brentford 0, Chelsea 1. It's with Janssen still on the halfway line, clips the ball down the middle, poor ball, headed away by Chalobah, whose pass picked up though by Jensen. Now Henry clips it across, away by Sarr, sent skywards, then Pinnock with a thunderous header, but it's not a good one really for Brentford because it's gone straight out to play for a Chelsea throw as time continues to tick.
Tony's won a lot more ball in the air this second half. I said about getting the better quality up to him. They've given him a chance of winning them aerial duels, and he's had flick-ons that other people have gone on to, and they've been a lot better in that respect in the second half, Brentford.
Rico Henry on the near side for Brentford wins a throw of Conte. 2 of the 4 added minutes have been played. Now Pinnock comes across to take the throw on the near side, and now it's Zanka's turn to join Janssen and others in the penalty area. In fact, it's gone down the left-hand channel and sent back to Pinnock by Jensen. Pinnock hangs up the cross, could fall to the far post, and the bicycle kick is turned over the top by Mendy. A wonder effort and a truly spectacular save. Norgard very nearly scored the goal of the Premier League season. Mendy might have made the save of the Premier League season.
How on earth has he got to that? That is his best save. What a great ball in from Pinnock, and I tell you, Norgard can't do any more than what he's done. That is a wonderful, world-class save.
Great goalkeepers can win you Premier League titles, and Chelsea have one. The Brentford goalkeeper rides forward for this corner. It's whipped in, it's headed away, it comes out to Godot on the edge of the D, goes back out wide towards the far side. Jensen scoops in the cross, it's headed down, Chelsea can't get it away, drops to Godot, hits it on the volley from the edge of the D, blocked by Loftus-Cheek. A minute to go on Talk Sport. We've seen just about everything in the second half. There's a Chelsea man down in the penalty area, and the game will be stopped momentarily.
I think it's James, but look, I'll tell you, you know where this is going. Long throw on the edge of Chelsea's penalty area, and they've caused Chelsea problems with it, with this sort of move, this sort of set piece throw in. They get around it. There's not one Chelsea player not in and around his own penalty area at the moment. They know where it's going, and just got a little last chance, Joe. I'll tell you what, you want this game to just go on. It's been that good. But Mendy, from having nothing to do, he's played that magical role for Chelsea.
And that makes it even more impressive, doesn't it? I think it was Neville Southall who always used to say that you might have nothing to do for the first half, but then in the second half you have more work, and Mendy has certainly had work. Saves that he had no right to make that save.
No, that was, the ball went in from Pinnock, and I remember when it left his foot, I thought, that's a wonderful ball. It eventually finished after ricocheting a couple of times to Norgard, and he actually put it, if you said to him, put it anywhere, where do you want to put it? He put it in that spot, and it was hit with real force, and somehow he's got a hand to it, and not just got a hand to it, he's deflected it away from the target. It's an incredible save by a man really who was, previous to that, made two wonderful saves as well. Bravery, courage, they're the sort of saves that he made the first two, but the last one was just pure class. It was athleticism, technique. He moved his feet, and he's such a massive man that he was able to get a hand to it. It really was a great save.
Watch it, and watch it again, and again and again. You'll see that save from Edouard Mendy time and time again this season, but Chelsea are not there yet. James has had to go off. They'll be temporarily down to 10 men.
They need him in there. This is not good for Chelsea.
It might just about be the last chance. Deep into stoppage time. Long throw from Ethan Pinnock into the penalty area. It's come back out wide to Pinnock again. Swings in the cross. It's blocked by Havertz. James is back on. Pinnock crosses to the near post. Diving header away by Malang Sarr. We've played well over the 4 minutes added here at the Brentford Community Stadium. We've had nearly 5.5. Chelsea have everybody back. Brentford are seeking a dramatic equaliser. Here comes the long throw once again. A touch of a Chelsea head. Could drop inside the penalty area. Norgard tries a little back heel. Conte hammers it away for Chelsea, and that might just be about that. Anthony Taylor has had a look at his watch. 5 minutes and 40 seconds into stoppage time. Henry has a throw for Brentford deep inside his own half. He's got very little in the way of options. The final whistle is blown, and Chelsea have gone back to the top of the Premier League, and my goodness, they had to grind it out here at the Brentford Community Stadium. Edouard Mendy celebrates almost like Chelsea have already won the title, and Edouard Mendy's performance tonight, proof that a top-class goalkeeper can be just as useful, just as important as a top-class defender, a top-class midfielder, or a top-class centre-forward. 3 brilliant saves, the last of them to deny Norgard from an overhead kick was spectacular. Brentford prove once again they can more than live with the very best in the Premier League. They hit the post twice over the course of the match, but in the event, it's Ben Chilwell's goal right at the end of the first half that has given Chelsea victory in this most memorable of West London derbies. It might be the first edition of this fixture in the Premier League, but we hope there are many more to come. It has finished on Talk Sports Game Day. Brentford 0, Chelsea 1.